everyone, JessieBearBuilds here, and in today's video we are going to be finishing off the Occults townhouse series. So this is going to be the last video in the series. This is a 6-part series that I've created, and if you watched any of the previous videos you would have seen that we've created houses for vampires, mermaids, werewolves, aliens, and spellcasters, and in today's video we are going to be building a house for fairies. So we'll jump straight in and finish the last video of the series. So here we are back in Twin Oracle Point, and as you can see we've already got the rest of the townhouses here, and today's shell is complete. So this is the shell that I've created for the fairy sims. I've used a lot of the Enchanted by Nature pack here. We've got a really lovely entryway there leading up to the front door, and then we've also got a little balcony area here, and I'm just going to start by colouring it in. So I think that we will go for a sort of wooden and green sort of colour scheme for this one. So I will change up the swatches here. We'll go for a nice light brown on the windows, change these ones here, and then we'll change up some of the furniture out the front as well. These lovely window boxes also, we'll do these ones here, and then sort of play around with the colour schemes. I think I'm going to go for like the dark scaled looking colour scheme on the top there, and then for the wallpaper on the bottom I think I'm going to go for the green. And I've just sort of created like a little roof garden here as well using some of the Enchanted by Nature plants, and I just thought that looked really cool. And then just leading up to the doorway here I'm going to add some of these. We'll just change the colour of the courtyard area here just to sort of match the brown and green that we've got going on. We'll switch up the swatches on these plants at the top here just to sort of mix it up a little bit and have a variation in the colours. I'm going to add some of these hanging plants either side of the doorway here, and one of the fairy sort of party houses here that your sims need to use. And then we'll pop some of these planters here. These are like the indoor house plants that came with Enchanted by Nature. I thought they looked really cool. And then I will just add a little seating area here. I mean, the table's not really going to be functional, but I just thought that this was really cute. I mean, realistically, fairies don't actually need a house in The Sims because they can do everything they need to do outside, but I mean, for aesthetic purposes I feel like this is just a lovely house to build. So I'm just going to switch it up to nighttime. I'm going to add some lanterns underneath this little desk area that I've added here, and I think this is it for the colour scheme outside. I really enjoy this. I feel like this is definitely very whimsical, very outdoorsy, very fairy coded. And then moving inside here, I created a floor plan. We've got the entryway there, we've got a living area, and then we've got the little kitchen area at the back, and I've separated it with some glass walls. But we're going to start with the kitchen. So I'm going to use again the Enchanted by Nature pack for this one because I feel like it fits the vibes perfectly. It's made for fairies. So we'll make this go all the way around, trying to bring as much of the outdoors in as I can with this one. And a little hack here, I've actually realised that if you pop the cottage living fridge into the large countertop, it actually looks perfect and it doesn't glitch out. So that's the fridge that we're going to go for there. And then I'm just going to change up the color scheme in here. I think we'll go for something a bit more sort of outdoorsy vibes, I guess. And then we'll add the sinks here from Enchanted by Nature as well. They fit perfectly. And then just this base game sort of like wood burning oven there with a cottage living stovetop as well. Pop this bin in here. That's a good use of the space. And then just to clutter up, I think I'm just going to add some sort of random items here. A microwave. I mean, I'm sure Fairy's not going to be using a microwave, but for the sake of the build, we're going to put one there. And then just add a load of clutter, and we'll go for this dining table here. Again, this is Enchanted by Nature. We'll switch up the chairs a little bit, put the stools on the end, and change the colour scheme as well to match the brown. And we'll pop a cottage living rug in here as well. I feel like the two sort of cottage living Enchanted by Nature packs really suit each other. And then moving on to this living room area here, I love the sort of glass wall as a divider. I feel like it still makes it feel really open, but it separates the rooms. So we'll go for some Enchanted by Nature furniture here. We'll pop some chairs either side, just sort of scatter them a little bit so they're kind of randomly put in place, like so. And then we'll go for one of the new rugs from Enchanted by Nature. I absolutely love this one. And then we'll pop a Horse Ranch little TV unit underneath there. Just fill it with flower clutter. A hanging plant, of course, for a JessieBearBuilds build. We'll put another plant in here and some more plants there behind the sofa. And then I'm just going to sort of use the 9 key and raise up some of these fairy lights. I think they're actually for a ceiling, but I feel like they look really cute just in front of the TV there. I don't know why. I guess fairy lights make sense. And then we'll use some of these little side tables here from Enchanted by Nature and just pop one next to this chair here. We'll pop a tray on top of that one, clutter it up a little bit, and we'll go for the coffee table to match, the same as the one in the dining room. Maybe put a little record player in here as well, and just clutter up the coffee table also. We'll go for these here from Island Living. I feel like they look really good, sort of mixed in with the leaf vines there on the windows. And then we'll pop in the apothecary items as well, which are skill items with the Enchanted by Nature pack. And I feel like this is just the perfect place for those, with those empty spaces that we have there. And we'll pop in another one of these side tables here to fill that space, even it out a little bit. And then I'm going to use another skill item. We've got the flower press here, which is a really cool item, and your Sims can actually press flowers in them, which is really cool. And then yeah, we'll pop some mushrooms on the wall here. We will change up the swatches on some clutter items. I'm going to size up this little bunny here and put it in. I feel like that looks so cute next to the apothecary table. And then Werewolves has got some cool artwork that I feel like suits the vibe here. So Enchanted by Nature didn't have very many art pieces, if any at all. I think if you enable the cheat where you can ignore the gameplay unlock entitlements, you can actually access some of those, but I think I'll use some of those later on in the build. So this is the entryway that I've started to create. I've got a little shelving area there with some really cute clutter items. I've just sort of put a couple of chairs in and just some items that I think that suit the vibe. And I'm going to create my own sort of wall feature here using these wall lamps and vines. And these are the flower press pictures that I mentioned earlier. I feel like these are just really cute, but these are unlockable items from the game, or you make them whilst you develop the skill. And I'll just duplicate the wall art that I had going on the other side and just pop that there. Let's have that wrapping around. I feel like that looks really cute. And we'll pop a little coat rack in there just by the door. And then just to fill this space under the stairs, I'm just going to pop some planters in, because that's obviously a big part of the fairy lifestyle, and just clutter it up a little bit. And then we'll pop a gardener's shelf on the wall here in the same color scheme. I feel like that's really cute. We'll add some candles, and I think that is it for our entryway. I love how that turned out. I feel like it definitely, like, it gives the idea of a fairy lives here. And then moving on upstairs here into the landing, I'm going to build a bookshelf, and Enchanted by Nature has these really cool ones. I'm just going to put them together to make one giant bookshelf, and then just fill it up with loads of random reading clutter items, a couple of candles and things like that. And then we'll go for the same windows that we used downstairs, add these vines as well with the Island Living curtains just all the way along here. And I do think I'm going to change this wallpaper as well, because I feel like with the vines on the vines it's just a little bit much. So I'm going to go for this one from Cottage Living. I feel like the pop of red just sort of completes this room a little bit. So we'll change up the color of the curtain swatches here. We'll go for the green that matches in with the paneling, and then we'll use these here from Enchanted by Nature, and we'll go for this Realm of Magic stool just to fill that little gap there. And then we'll add some more plants, another hanging plant of course by the door there. So to the left you can see the bathroom, and then at the back there's going to be a bedroom as well. We'll add some more of the flower press pictures on the walls here, and then just to fill this little space here we'll add a little hallway table, and then I'm going to pop some clutter items. So we'll go for the little mushroom here. This one is from Life and Death. We've got the werewolves mushroom, and then we'll go for the sunflower gnome as well, and then just add a little bit of lighting just to light up the corridor a little bit here. And I think that's it for the hallway upstairs. And then this is the little bathroom here. Again, your fairy doesn't really need a bathroom, but for the sake of it being a townhouse, we've put one in here anyway, and it's an excuse to use all the Enchanted by Nature items. So I'm just going to move this sink over here, and then we'll pop the mirror above that one. I'm just going to use one of the kitchen counters as well here next to the sink, and then I can add some clutter items on that one there. And I think that's pretty much it for the bathroom, but we're going to move on to the bedroom now. So This is going to be very whimsical, very enchanted with all the Enchanted by Nature items. We'll pop some end tables just here. We'll add some more of the lights on the walls. We'll pop one here and one on the other side. And then some more of the candles. Again, these are part of the skill items, I think, actually. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried that one yet. And then we will pop a bookshelf in the corner here. And I think I am going to change up the color scheme of this room in a minute because I kind of got carried away with the purple, and I feel like I want to change everything to purple, but we'll see that in a moment. I'm going to pop a desk in here and add the old typewriter on there, maybe some more candles as well, and then clutter it up with some more lights and some more plants. I really like adding lanterns and sort of sizing one up and then having one a bit smaller just to sort of add a bit of dimension, so I put some of those in the corner, and then we'll put the perch of petals under the window, and then we'll pop this dragon rug under the bed here. And this is where I'm going to change up the color scheme in here because I love the dragon rug and I just want everything to match it. So we're just going to change up all the colors. We'll change the wallpaper as well. Maybe add a bit of pink to tie in with the flowers that we've got on the walls there. But I think that's it for our fairy bedroom. I think out of all of them, I feel like the fairy house is my favorite, maybe. I just love the way it looks. But this is it from the exterior. I've added some planters and things, and this is the whole street you could see together. And then going inside the front door, we will have a look at how it turned out. So this is the entryway. It's whimsical, really green. Maybe that's why I love it, because green's my favorite color. There we go. That's lovely. And then going through here into the living area. This is my favorite part of the house. It just looks so cozy, and I could totally envision a little fairy sim walking around here. Like, it's just perfect. I love it. It's my favorite one. And then going through here into the kitchen area, which is definitely giving cottagecore, and we love that. It's very cluttered, but it's like, it's not too cluttered. I feel like it all works, and this is just how I, like, in my head, this is what I imagine a fairy's house would be like. But we'll go back through here past the glass wall and work our way upstairs. And again, I've tried to keep the staircase really open. Your fairies don't need to use the stairs, but they might. And this is the little balcony area. We've got the little party fairy house there. We've got the bookshelf up here, and then that leads through to the bathroom. Just, it's pretty plain. It's just got all the fairy items in that one. And then into, this might be my favorite room in the house. This is the purple fairy bedroom with the dragon rug. Yeah, and this is the other side, and that's the fairy bedroom. And that brings us to the end of the Every Townhouse is a Different Occult series. I would love to know what people think of this one and what their favourite build was. Mine was definitely either the fairy one or the vampire one. I feel like they're quite contrasting, but I really loved the vibes on both of them. But yeah, if anyone wants to see any other series going forward or any build challenges that they have in mind, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to JessieBearBuilds. That would mean a lot to me as a new YouTuber. I've been JessieBearBuilds, and I will see you in the next video.